more on the very sad news. The Duchess of Sussex has revealed that she had a miscarriage. She revealed that very sad news in an interview with the New York Times. She says it was unbearable grief that she went through. Royal Editor Russell Myers joins me now. Russell, this is very, very sad. Nobody had an inkling, but, you know, both her, and we shouldn't forget that Harry as well has gone through that loss too. I mean, he was holding her hand when it was all happening. It's just so sad.
It is. Good morning, Lorraine. And very, very, very sad news this morning. And as you rightly said, the Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, has written an op-ed for the New York Times in which she describes the losses we share. That's the title. And she says that she very, very sadly had a miscarriage in January and realised that she was miscarrying when she was putting their young son Archie to bed. He's only 18 months old. And she said, "I knew as I clutched my firstborn child that I was losing my second." And I think this really, really resonates. It's very, very raw and emotional, the whole piece. She talks about being in hospital with Harry, describing him as heartbroken. And obviously the couple have gone through this together, as you say. And this is something that I think that anyone who has experienced the loss of a child, miscarriage or neonatal death, anything like that, there's an awful lot of people out there, or if you know anyone, this is particularly sad day.
No, it really is. And she's quite right about the fact that sometimes there's shame around this, which of course there shouldn't be. And I'm sure this is why she's actually decided to speak out, to try and tell other women that they shouldn't, and men. I mean, goodness me, it happens to the couple, it happens to the family. That's the thing, you know, it has an effect on everyone, really.
It does, and something like this really does have an effect on one's family and friends. And as you talk about that shame element, and in this op-ed, she talks about when they were in South Africa, and she made the comments to Tom Bradbury that, "Are you okay?" And she was really talking about the fact that she was heavily pregnant at the time. She was struggling with the pregnancy beforehand when they'd been, you know, travelling the world, and she felt very alone at that stage. And I think that by her sharing her view, by her sharing her experience, will make such a lot of difference to anyone who has gone through this.
No, it really does. And that interview actually makes more sense now when you put it into context, doesn't it? Because that would have been a few months after what had happened, and she still would be feeling very vulnerable. Of course she would be feeling very vulnerable, and maybe it goes towards the fact that they made these decisions for the good of their family, the decisions to move, which have been heavily criticised. So, you know, it's when you put it all into context, it starts to make more sense, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And they have made these decisions for the good of their family. And I think that is something that a lot of people applaud them for. They may not have gone about it the right way in certain quarters, but, you know, they are doing the right thing for their family. I think most interestingly, Meghan has such a standpoint around the globe. And by sharing this story, I think that once you read it and the words just spill off the page, it's very, very raw and emotive. And I think there's absolutely everybody who will be thinking of both Harry and Meghan today and their unfortunate news.
Russell, thank you. Thank you very much. Dr Hilary joins me now. This will help a lot of people. It genuinely will, won't it?
Just talking about it will, because this is not uncommon. It's always awful when it happens. It's a real tragedy, and the bereavement can last for the rest of a woman's life particularly, but it affects both members of the couple. Yeah. And it's something that you never really get over. In women under the age of 30, it affects about sort of 10%, 15% of pregnancies, but it's much more common the older you get. So 45, it's about 50%. So overall, 1 in 4, 1 in 5 pregnancies end in miscarriage. But the loss of a child, as we've heard, it often causes symptoms that last afterwards, a feeling of guilt that you should have carried that baby. It's no fault of the mother, and women need to know that. Often there's a feeling of failure. So afterwards, there's difficulty sleeping, there's loss of appetite, weight changes, and this can persist. Talking about it, initially one wants to be very private, understandably, but then talking about it is a real therapy, and so is the memorial service, so that the child is never forgotten, but there is a permission given to move on. And life has to move on for the sake of the rest of the family and for future plans. And I know that it's in the public domain that you've suffered something
it was almost,
similar,
you know, just seeing this morning, it was almost exactly the same, you know, having to go to hospital, and the way that she talks about that. And what really helped me, you know, was being able to talk, obviously, to you and to be able to talk to other people. And also Rosie, because Rosie was only, I think she was only about 6 then.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, Archie's a lot younger than that, but I know
Yes.
that that will really help, you know, having another child to sort of focus on
Yeah.
will really help. And my heart just goes out to her. It's just so sad. And I think the way that she's done it is absolutely brilliant.
Good.
But we mustn't
Yeah.
forget that it's the two of them.
Absolutely.
Because I think an awful lot of times people forget
Yes,
about the partner.
they do. And women will handle this differently. Some women are able to move on quite quickly.
Yeah, I went back to work too quick, Hilary.
They
You
put
said
things in
that to me,
perspective.
and I went back to work too quickly, and I know that now, and it made it more difficult, so I shouldn't have. But
Some can.
everybody deals with it their
Some
own
can.
way.
Others, it will linger a long time, and there are bereavement counsellors who can work wonders. And of course, we have the Miscarriage Association,
Of course,
who do excellent work as well. So I'd certainly recommend them. And there is help. GPs, of course, too. But talking to somebody trusted, somebody close, and of course your partner.
Yeah.
And gradually you can get through it and move on. And that's
you can.
That's what
Well, we wish them all the best. We
do.
wish them all the best, and she's done a quite remarkable thing today. She really has.
Yeah, I'm
so
glad she
all
has.
credit to her, and our thoughts go out to them and to their whole family. Thank you, Hilary. Thank you so much. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub, and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.